And spawning in the top right hand corner here of the Old Republic, we have the German Protoss player. We have the Red Protoss. Oh, with the Red Protoss himself representing Sentinels, it is ShoWTimE. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Italian Terran player, the Blue Terran representing Streamer Zone. It is a BabyMarine. Here we go. Here we go. We are going to be settling in, and oh boy, we've had a lot of intense series so far. Both the initial first series with Skills and BabyMarine, likewise with Trigger and Rainer. We'll see if we can slow things down a little bit, because now we're loading into one of the larger maps. Larger map of the map pool, longer resistance by ground. Likewise, ShoWTimE is also featured here as well, so we might actually embrace the mid game. We haven't yet today at all this entire broadcast. I could say it's been some fast games. But we might get there. We might get there in towards the mid game. We'll see. We'll see if we slow things down. I think that was an old party build, maybe, but once again though, I do want to give credit of course to Trigger. He had some very nice control. This is something that we've been praising Trigger as of late. Again, if you haven't been watching Trigger, he has been more regularly defeating some top players like MaxPax, for example. He's been more dominant over players like Classic as well in PvPs, and of course in PvTs as well, as Trigger did defeat Clem a couple of weeks ago. It was in, I believe, Rongi Cup. I think it was in Rongi Cup where Trigger did defeat Clem 3-2 in a best of 5. So Trigger, he's been getting some very strong results against the best players in the world. It's been very impressive to see Trigger's growth, of course. And nowadays, I would say that Trigger has some of the best control in the world when it comes to his Blinkstalker control, his Blinkstalker micro, up there with Hero. So yeah, it's very impressive play that Trigger has been showcasing as of late. Again, it's been a little bit more recent over the past maybe 2 months, maybe over the past. Obviously, Trigger has been on the rise for 2 years at this point, 2 to 3 years. That is true, but in recent months, like we've been seeing a bit of a bigger spike from Trigger for sure. We haven't seen him spike up with his matches against Hero, Classic, Clem, Rainer now as well, MaxPax. As BabyMarine does break in, but now going to be a Twilight Council opener out of ShoWTimE. He's choosing against Maru. True. Yeah, Trigger versus Maru. Also, that was also during the Rongi Cup. As you see BabyMarine getting into his own 1-1-1. Get initially economic opener into his own setup, into his own Reaper Hellion. Just going to poke out, nothing too crazy yet. Likewise, eyes are on ShoWTimE for his gateway count. Because the map is so large, we're expecting 2 gate blink, just 2 gate blink into a faster third. He might get a safety robo, maybe. We'll see how threatened ShoWTimE feels. Yeah, he's just going to expand. So a very greedy economic build here by ShoWTimE, going for the faster third. The base gets thrown down. Again, building up with a boosted economy and towards the mid game. The pressure is going to be on BabyMarine. Pressure is on. Hallucination gets eyes on the medevac. Gets eyes on the move out. Again, ShoWTimE is getting ready back at home, peeling for a couple of stalkers. Again, he doesn't know where the medevac is headed, so getting ready in the main base. BabyMarine rushing to the natural. There is no safety shield battery, true, but there are some force fields. There is that sentry. BabyMarine hitting the third. As the army responds, the Hellions can try to move in, and they do. 3 Hellions, they can one-shot probes. Sorcerer's Blink in. Hellions are deflected, and ShoWTimE is all over this even. Oh, barely not sniping the Hellion. But so far, solid defense out of ShoWTimE. He defends well. Behind this, building up a charge into his own forge, +1, delaying his splash damage and going for a heavier gateway count coming into the mid game. A heavier gateway composition. Likewise across the map, BabyMarine just settling into his own 2-base setup here. Stim, combat shields, nothing crazy, nothing wild. There's no earlier upgrades or earlier tech. From here, we should be getting +1 and working on the 3rd CC. So for the first time this broadcast, we're slowing things down and we're getting into the mid game. I would favor ShoWTimE currently. He's in a better position just because of the openers. Raven Harass gets shut down. BB Hellion gets up. Going for the sentry. Yeah, it does commit to the dive. One Hellion goes down, now getting into the middle line as well. Can we kill some probes? Two worker kills so far. Getting one more volley up as well. 3 probes. Getting it to 5. Okay. 5 probe kills. It is something. It's not ideal, but it's something here. So 5 probes for 3 Hellions and a Reaper. So 1 or 2? 1 Reaper, yeah. And 1 Reaper. So not a bad trade for BabyMarine. The Raven is still alive. Still has the medevac outside of the main base as well. Still has potential for damage. As BabyMarine does move in. Does move in. He gets spotted by the Observer. Decent chunk with the mines. But again, ShoWTimE is fully aware. Blowing back the army. As time goes on, the first Colossus is on the way. Second Robo as well. And again, ShoWTimE just waiting for the unsiege, waiting for the move out. The Observer sees everything. Drop into the main, gets cleaned up. BabyMarine, he backs off. And does pull away. Respecting the army. And on the one hand, BabyMarine, he fails to break the 4th base. I don't think he could have, to be fair. And thankfully, he doesn't lose his army. He retains it. He retains his army, he retains his composition, claiming his 3rd, and again, building up into a longer game state. I still do favor ShoWTimE, just because now ShoWTimE can really settle in. Second Robo is done. We can start working towards double Colossus and eventually double Disruptor production as well. ShoWTimE is rounding out his army. And BabyMarine at this point is stuck at home, and soon he's going to be incentivized to just turtle, to throw down center towers, missile turrets, to wall up and get ready for a 4th base. As we delve into the mid game here, we must discuss, yes, this map is large, true, we did kind of open up with that, you know, larger map of the map pool, longer rush distance by ground. The 4th base though is very difficult to defend, as the Raven gets caught out. Yeah, Raven did get caught. Aye. But whether it's the low ground 4th base here or it's the linear 4th base on the right hand side, it is very open, very open, very accessible. ShoWTimE is gaining map control, getting a 4th, 5th, eventually a 6th, eventually the entire half, if not more than that, of the map. So ShoWTimE is in control, and ShoWTimE doesn't have to push into this. He's going to be moving into a minefield. He can just wait and wait for the army to expand and to move out at the 4th location. But ShoWTimE is moving in. He's thinking about it, does pick forward. I think there's no need, right? There's no need for ShoWTimE to push into this. All he has to do is wait for BabyMarine to expand. Let's say plus into the middle line. Nice damage. 5 SCVs. Okay. This was a distraction. 5, 6 SCVs go down. ShoWTimE just parked outside. Scan does reveal the army. Does reveal the movement. Again, ShoWTimE is maxed. Because he's maxed out at this point, he can be inefficient and he can like push into this. It won't be ideal, but he can just outtrade. Picking away at the wall. Oof. Picking away at the Marines. Again, ShoWTimE just has to take it slow. Just take it slow. Poke in, pick up a couple of units, get every other base on the map, throw down walls of cannons and shield batteries. Once ShoWTimE takes extra gases, or once he accumulates some gas, then he can throw down a fleet beacon, Stargate, fleet beacon, and get ready for a Skytroll's transition if need be as well. Or at least some mothership. Oh. And ShoWTimE is setting up. Now you might be looking at this and might be thinking, oh, but BabyMarine, he's catching up in supply. He is. Like, he is catching up in army supply. But that's also why it's important that ShoWTimE kind of lets BabyMarine move out into the open to expose himself before engaging. You don't want BabyMarine to fight with a defender's advantage. So I'll say distract. They pull away the intention. At the same time, ShoWTimE does not get into the mineral land. Again, we've got to be careful here. As Vikings, they punch the Colossus. Ooh. There was a crazy army. BabyMarine, he can chase. Chasing into cannons and shield batteries. ShoWTimE set up. He does try to commit into the third base once again. Takes out the tank. Tank goes down. Oh, the movement. Oh my god. It does move him in. A little bit too close. Couple of losses here for ShoWTimE. Does split out a Colossus. Does split out some high-tech units. BabyMarine is now establishing his base. I would have thought we would have set up for a surround here, but this flank is looking a little bit weaker for ShoWTimE. It's a little bit concerning. Prism does get in, just barely. Can we finish the warp in? I'm gonna just try to poke in, warp it into the main base. The warp in does not finish. Ay, ay, ay. ShoWTimE being chased down. Again, a very haphazard assault here from ShoWTimE. It's very disjointed. Colossus goes down. And ShoWTimE never teched up into Skytroll. So that's not an option here, which is concerning because BabyMarine is stabilizing. The big power spike here for the Terran is getting the fourth base. If this fourth base sits up, then BabyMarine can max out, can maintain his army, and perfect his army. The wing condition for ShoWTimE had to be to fight for the fourth base. You had to fight for the fourth. Failed to do so. So things looking better for BabyMarine. I switched too soon. BabyMarine, he moves out. He's out of position. Fifth base gets denied. Can ShoWTimE get the fourth? No, as they zone back. They zone away. The expansion gets around and he gets it. The fourth base goes down. And that's all the ShoWTimE needed. That's all he needed. He has to get the hell out of here. Pull out, Pappy. Pull out. As he pulls out, Zelrama moves in. And as we mentioned, just deny the fourth. Deny the fourth base. If ShoWTimE can keep doing this, then he can maintain his lead. Deny the fourth. Keep BabyMarine busy at home. You can see BabyMarine switching and transitioning into Liberators, into Liberator range. Into more heavy Ghost composition as well. Who catches who? Some panic novas there at ShoWTimE. So I'll say attempt to slip by. They get into the natural. Can we land those novas? Can we slips in? Can we force back? Despite that, 14 SCVs go down. 15! 15 SCV kills. That's worth it for ShoWTimE. Is worth it. And there it is. This is a little bit late, but it's fine. Stargate. Stargate's on the way. Temple Archive's on the way. We're getting ready for that fleet beacon. BabyMarine is building up a more efficient composition. That is true, but he's not quite there yet. He's up to 8 Liberators, 6 Ghosts. His army's looking pretty solid. He can take a fight. But that's also why ShoWTimE is not fighting head-on, right? There's a reason for that. You cannot fight head-on. It's all about distracting, pulling away the attention, coming in for the backstab, or catching the army on siege. Oh, not quite. There's a fleet beacon. Now, when it comes to trying to break this entrenched position, that's where Tempest excel, and that's why Skytoss is usually the go-to. So we're thinking about Skytoss. ShoWTimE still sharking around. BabyMarine is spreading himself thin. So this is a big moment for the Terran player. He is expanding, getting another base, getting a 5th. So 5th base is on the way. But again, we do see a lot of supply spread here when it comes to Liberators. So I'll say fail to move in. And as ShoWTimE bleeds off Zealots, we have Tempest production now underway. Again, you can argue that these Tempests are late, and they are, but they're coming. Now, the scary thing here is that ideally you want to bring out the Tempest before the 5th base gets them running. The fact that the 5th base is on the way is a scary moment for ShoWTimE. So this is a bit concerning. At least it would be if these Zealot Rumbars weren't finding damage. I mean, 5 more SCVs. Rotating over. This is where I have to be a little bit critical of ShoWTimE. Him taking this center left base was really good. It was really smart. He should have done the same with bottom right. Bottom right should have been taken as well. And maybe even this 5th base location actually as well, depending on how aggressive ShoWTimE wanted to be. Or at least maybe this expansion should have been taken sooner. 100%. 100%. The fact that it wasn't means that this position is quite vulnerable, and it's still a fresh base that could be in control of BabyMarine in the near future. This could still be a Terran base. Yeah, mass liberation has arrived. Late reaction by ShoWTimE. Ooh, late reaction. Yeah, freedom pops off. But here come the Tempest. Thankfully, they have arrived in time. Yeah, Tempest stays on away. There should be an Oracle coming with the main army as well. BabyMarine at the same time setting up for a counterattack. BabyMarine sims in, this base will go down. And do we trade bases? As EMP. EMP lands. Oh, Disruptors that are left behind, they were left idle. That's 2 Disruptors going down, and a Tempest as well. Yeah, once again, late reactions out of ShoWTimE. He was distracted. Again, does lose an expansion. If he's not careful, he'll lose another. And again, ShoWTimE is hurting. Nice EMPs. EMP buffs up. Tempests are going down. Oh my god. Yeah, Tempests do go down. Reinforcements have arrived. BabyMarine just flanking the army, forcing him further back. And can he break the expansion? Can he get it? Ah, he needs more Vikings. Yeah, down to only 2 Vikings. Not enough Vikings in the end, gets forced back. Ay, ay, ay. BabyMarine, he was so close. He was so close. Yeah, Liberators are going down. Storms are coming in. Oh, sorry, no heights. No energy. Yeah, there's the energy overcharge. No Disruptors either. Again, messy engages here from ShoWTimE. So I'm finding some damage, only a handful of SCVs. We just need more Vikings. Vikings, papi. Six Vikings so far. Setting up for a flank. Doors coming in. Massive EMP. Yeah, massive EMPs. Ooh, on everything. The High Templar and the Tempest. Vikings, they rush forward. They catch some of the Tempest. It's gonna be 1, 2. Nova's coming in. Oh, nice Nova. Does connect. That one Purification Nova, that one Disruptor. Tempest is still popping up though. There's still a lot of Tempests left over. There's what, 4 Tempests left. But again, ShoWTimE is also running out of money here. What I mean by that, lack of gas. Gas income here. I mean, he does have some gases, that is true. He even has the high yield gas as well. That shows how expensive this army has been for ShoWTimE, and as he has no gas bank. Another EMP. BabyMarine retaking the expansion. Ah, that 5th base being denied was brutal. And the Tempest, they just get free shots off. BabyMarine though, yeah, taking bottom right. As I mentioned before, I do feel like ShoWTimE, he could have been more aggressive when it came to these expansions and could have taken both these bases much earlier. Much earlier. Otherwise, it doesn't matter that BabyMarine is so late to take them because they're still fresh bases. Still fresh. Once again, mass EMP of the Tempest. Jesus. That's the one and only Storm. More High Templar coming in. As BabyMarine, he attempts to flank. The flank gets caught out. Nova pops off. Ooh, nice connection. But there are the Storms coming in. The Storms were left over. High Templar, they can push in. Yeah, plenty of... a little bit wasteful with the Storms, but it's fine. A little bit. These Rambites are not quite worth it, but they're becoming a little bit wasteful. So just run into reinforcements. There's nothing much to kill after natural anyway. Ooh, so an EMP does land. EMPs are landing. ShoWTimE gets turned away. How many Vikings? Still only a low Viking out of 5. And now we can kill the expansion. Yep, CC doesn't get targeted. Nice Storm and the Liberators. We have more Storms coming in. Jesus, and GG. Yeah, GG gets called. Storms, they blanket the army, and ShoWTimE, he will take game number 1. Ooh, he'll take a lead in the series. So GG. GG, well played. You can see towards the end there that BabyMarine, he ran out of steam, he ran out of money. Again, he was denied that 5th base and he still could not saturate it. But there were some really nice moments though. Some really nice moments for ShoWTimE. Sorry, for BabyMarine, I meant to say some really nice moments. Him claiming the 4th base, claiming the 5th base as well, being able to land those EMPs and catching up the army. Unfortunately, BabyMarine, he never quite hit critical mass of Vikings. Like his Viking count, I don't think ever exceeded 6. I think 6 was his cap at any moment, and alas, lack of Vikings never quite was able to overwhelm the SkyToss army, but he did come close a couple of times. Like it was still a very kind of intense couple of moments battling on the right hand side. If he was able to take a slightly better fight and take the forward expansion, then maybe we see a different game. But GG well played. Much more intense back and forth there out of BabyMarine and ShoWTimE, as ShoWTimE takes the lead, and now we get ready for game number 2. Going to be loading into Mothership, another one of these larger maps. Oh boy, we know where this is headed. This is going to be a little bit different though. We spoke a little bit earlier about how specifically on the Old Republic it is difficult to maintain your 4th and 5th base, and we saw that eventually they were taken, but even then, like the 4th and 5th base, it took a lot for BabyMarine to fight for them, right? He had to fight real hard for those bases before eventually taking them, but even then, like, he did lose a lot in the process. Loading into Mothership, the issue here is how spread out the bases are. We'll get there. Spawning in the bottom side of Mothership, we have the German Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sentinels, leading the series 1-0. It is ShoWTimE. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Italian Terran player. We have the blue Terran for Streamer Zone. It is BabyMarine. Here we go, and welcome to Mothership, a 3-player spawn map. Now, coming into this map, your initial, I want to say, 5-base setup, your natural, your linear 3rd base, your triangular 3rd base, and your center base are relatively easy to maintain in the late game, right? They're relatively close together. You can rotate back and forth. Like, this should be fine, your 5 bases. Getting anywhere past that, though, is very difficult. Whether you expand to, I mean, you have to expand to another corner, essentially. You have to expand to another corner of the map that is Mothership, and again, you spread yourself very thin in the process. It is very common in TvP to see a situation where the Terran player is on these 5 bases, and they're stuck on 5 bases, and the Protoss takes every other expansion on the map. You saw that last game on the Old Republic, BabyMarine, he had opportunities to get a 6th base, to get a 7th base. Like, there was a 6th and 7th within reach of his army where he could expand to, that ShoWTimE wasn't able to take himself. Here, I would say it is easier for whoever has map control, I should mention it like that, whoever has map control to take those fringe bases and to deny them from the Terran. As traditionally in late game TvP, it's the Protoss player that has map control and the Terran players that's more defensive. Traditionally. Of course, there are always exceptions. So I feel like the pressure is going to be on BabyMarine to be aggressive earlier on. But here we go. Let's go. But now they're double gas open out of BabyMarine, going for a faster factory, delayed CC. Already a bit of a different start here. If you remember, last game BabyMarine did go for an economic start, this time a more tech heavy start instead. So already does mix things up. As a reminder, last game ShoWTimE did go for a greedier build, which is one of the reasons why he was able to have a much more comfortable mid game. Now the Reactor, the Reaper, Hellion. Okay, so a bit of a stronger commitment here for BabyMarine. Be more aggressive earlier on. From here, we'll see if we can get into a mineral line. We'll see if he can roast up some probes. Oh, okay, as he goes for his Reactor Reaper Hellion into another Rax before the starport. You have my attention. Very aggressive opener here by BabyMarine. Jumping on forward, trying to catch on one of the Stalkers. So far, nice control. Yeah, nice control. One Stalker does get picked up. Very clean control here by BabyMarine. As long as they'll lose anything. Gotta be careful. Can he get both? Oh, my God. Jesus, can he? And he does. Takes down both Stalkers. Aye. 2 Stalkers go down. Reaper Hellion does survive and go back to be healed up, to be repaired, and look to move out with his second wave, getting up to 5 Reapers and 3 Hellions. A very aggressive early game here by BabyMarine. And ShoWTimE is down 2 Stalkers. Now he's getting a safety shield battery at his natural. Back in the main base, there is a safety shield battery as well. Crucial he gets these shield batteries up and running, because most likely the army is going to run past. Ooh, the Hellions didn't get fully healed. They didn't get fully healed, so the Hellions are a little bit softened up here from the early game. ShoWTimE, can he focus them down? BabyMarine, he wants to get into the mineral line. We got Reapers, they do slip past. Oh, going for the Stalker. Oh no, he gets one. Wow, Stalker goes down. There's 1 Stalker left. The probes line up. Hellions are coming from behind, and massive shots go off. Getting 7, 8, getting up to, can we get up to 9? We'll see. We're getting further into the main. The Hellions have been cleaned up. Getting up to 9 probes. Do we get 10? Not quite. Yeah, barely not. Whew, but this is the worth. He gets it. He gets 10 probes towards the end. So 10 probes, and was it 3 stalkers? Yeah, 3 stalkers, 10 probes. A well worth trade here for BabyMarine. A very nice damage. I would say that I was gonna say that if he had healed up his Hellions, then potentially we could have killed more probes, but at the same time that would have delayed the move out and given more time for the shield batteries and for extra warpins as well. So it was very close, very clutch. Overall, a stronger start for BabyMarine. We do have the counterattack on the way. Blink will finish up in 10 seconds. Back at home, what do we have to defend? Tank at the natural. Another tank is on the way in the main base. A couple of marauders as well. There is no stim, bear that in mind, but I see a 3-back setup. I see no starport. This looks like a 2-base all-in. Oh my god. Stalkers, they blink forward, they get punished. Losing 1, 2, 3, 4, losing 5. Oh my god. That was a rough trade for ShoWTimE. Yes, ShoWTimE, he killed the tank, but he lost almost every single stalker. And again, there's a high chance that BabyMarine pulls the voids with this. We'll see. 2 stalkers, they blink into the main. They threaten stim. They should not get it. Oh, the army comes in for the army coming in from behind, catches the 2 stalkers. BabyMarine, calm down, baby, calm down. He's crazy. Because of the lead and because of so many stalkers going down, I'm not opposed to him pulling the boys here, but he's going for the GG. GG. Again, just too far behind here, and BabyMarine, he will tie up the series 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, like BabyMarine, he was miles ahead. That's why I wouldn't be opposed to him pulling the boys there. He was able to cripple the economy, shut down the main army as well. Too many losses too early on for ShoWTimE. And that's game. That's game. We're going to the ace match here. And I mean, that's a way to deal with Mothership. If you recall, I was concerned about the late game ramifications of Mothership in TVP and how worrisome that is and how difficult it would be for BabyMarine. And we wanted something more aggressive. We got it. we got it, man. We got it. So GG, well played. With that, we're tied up and we're going to the ace match. Let's go. Let us go. As literally everything that could have gone well for BabyMarine went well for BabyMarine in game 2. That was insane. you couldn't have asked for a better game. But spawning in the bottom hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the German Protoss player, the German Protoss, the red Protoss, representing Sentinels, being forced into the ace match. Can he bring it back? It is a ShoWTimE. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Italian Terran player, we have the blue Terran for Streamer Zone. It is BabyMarine. Oh. Here we go. So we're getting to the ace match here. It all ends here. It all ends on Tourmaline. Again, Tourmaline is a very small map with an apple. Short resistance by ground. Aggression is favored. And we're expecting aggression out of our Terran player. Now, I don't expect to see the same builds. A commitment into Reaper Hellion, again, would be difficult to pull off. How do you counter something like that? 1, you don't lose your first 2 stalkers. But 2, you can have some SimCity back at home at your natural. You can limit the movements that Hellions have between your bases. Keep up with the Reapers and have a stronger defense. And already we see BabyMarine opening up economically. Racks expand. Remember, last game it was a double gas opener. That is why we saw such a big investment into Reaper Hellion in the last game. This time we're going for something more economic. We're calming down. Oh, as BabyMarine, he even just skips the Reaper. Just skips it entirely. No SCV Scout, no Reaper Scout. Very greedy opener here by BabyMarine. Much greedier, even going for the high ground CC. Okay. Greedy opener into a safe follow-up to make sure it doesn't get abused, to make sure it doesn't get punished. Now, ShoWTimE at least confirms the CC, so ShoWTimE, even though he didn't see whether or not a gas was being taken, because of the timing of the command center, he knows. So he knows it's economic, he knows he can be greedy as a response, and he can cut some corners and doesn't have to be as defensive. Here we go. Hello. As BabyMarine, are we thinking about a proxy starport? Okay. Factory's almost done. Show us that starport. The SCV's on patrol. So far, it looks like reactor on the racks, into an add-on swap, into reactor to Hellion, into a Hellion drop across the map. Looking to be the case. Battery's done. Gotta wait a little bit extra here. There we go, waiting for the 100 gas. So starport is now on the way. Technically, this could be reactor to Hellion into a Liberator, and we could be going for a Hellion harass at the natural and then Liberator harass into the main. That's a very niche build and a very niche kind of setup here. The more likely one is just a medevac into a Hellion drop into the main base instead. It's going to be up to ShoWTimE to scout what's going on, to figure out what's happening, and to prepare. And does spot the Hellions. Did scout the reactor. True. So he's aware about the reactor Hellion. He's aware. Behind this, he was setting up his SimCity, setting up his wall. Setting up defensively. Getting 2 gateways to the natural, 1 gateway in the main, 3 gate blink. Very safe play here by ShoWTimE. Hellions move out, and here comes that medevac. Now what's important here is that ShoWTimE, he has a full wall at the natural with his Stalker, and he does veer off with his Adepts here into the main base, so he's aware that this could be a possibility. Doesn't know for certain, but he's preparing nonetheless. So ShoWTimE is getting ready in the main. The natural is actually a little bit more exposed. Gonna be jumping in. It doesn't load, does go for the dive. He dives into the mineral line, he can one-shot probes, he can and he will. It's gonna be 4 probes going down, getting up to 6. And nicely done. 6 probes go down. No, the medevac is gonna fall though. Massive pickoff. Ooh, and that's gonna be 4 Hellions and a medevac for 6 workers. Not the best trade here for BabyMarine. Almost a 1-to-1 trade. If he didn't lose the medevac, I think it'd be okay, but yeah, some rough losses there. Bearing in mind the starport now can't make anything, is floating back home. It's also another factor. And ShoWTimE has gained map control. Again, if the medevac survived, this move out wouldn't be possible. Like, these stalkers would have to stay back at home to deal with the medevac, to deal with the drop. But now he's free to move out. Ooh, the starport forced to land just to make something. Another medevac is on the way. ShoWTimE can dive into the main base. There's 1 tank. Sorry, the boat tank's on the low ground. Uh-oh. Yeah, BabyMarine, the main base is completely exposed. Another tank covering the production, but not the mineral line. SCVs are going down. And so because they pull away and catching more workers. 5, 6. Getting up to 7. Yeah, 7 SCVs going down. Tanks are still too far back. Oh, God. Eight. Can we get 10? 9. Una más, papi, una más. Yeah, he can. He will. Blinks further in, and we just dominate the main base. So much damage here. 12 SCV kills. Ay, ay, ay. You want rallying towards the natural. This is critical damage. Quickly becoming game-ending damage. Oh, God, is he still not done? Finally, soldiers are going down. Finally, this is being dealt with. Armor gets forced out. At the same time, Stalker does run into the natural. But that is 16 dead SCVs, 16 workers, a full mineral line with the workers go down. And BabyMarine, he's hurting. He's all in. Yeah, trying to macro out of this is not going to work out well for him. He throws down a 3rd CC. He's crazy. Okay, 3rd CC. 3rd CC gets thrown. There we go. The boys are being pulled. What's the point of the 3rd CC? I don't know. Why not? Send it, papi, send it. I mean, BabyMarine doesn't have the production to spend his money anyway. Yo, we gotta decide what's going on. Boys are on the way at the same time. Zelta catch reinforcements. They're coming from behind. Again, just a last-ditch Hail Mary play here for BabyMarine. Zelta catch up more Marines. catch up on Marine. 17 SVs, they go down at home, and GG gets called. The all-in fails, and ShoWTimE, you'll take the series 2-1, taking down BabyMarine. GG. GG, well played. A very chaotic back and forth series is what I will say. Game 1, we had a longer back and forth, which could have gone either way, to be honest. We had a much longer late game back and forth by ShoWTimE and BabyMarine. Game 2 and Game 3, a lot more aggression here. Game 2, of course, BabyMarine popping off and just crippling ShoWTimE early on, catching out Stalker after Stalker, Worker after Worker, and just having almost the perfect kind of early game. You had won in the TVP. Coming to Game 3 here, the Hellion drop did fall on its face. As we mentioned at the time, killed 6 probes. 6 probes were killed, but more importantly, did lose all 4 Hellions and the medevac as well. So instant counterattack. And unfortunately for BabyMarine, there was no safety bunker on the low ground. What did that mean? Because there was no bunker on the low ground, he felt the need to keep both tanks on the low ground, which was a bit of an, which again was just too many eggs in one basket. It meant that his main base was exposed, and ShoWTimE went straight for the main, and he dominated the main base. Again, the main base was just so vulnerable, so vulnerable, so isolated, and so taken advantage of as a result of that. Was taken advantage of, and we did see BabyMarine fall apart in that defense. Was too many workers, 16 SVs went down. GG, well played. That was critical damage, and with that, ShoWTimE does claim the series. From here, we're going to be catching up on the rest of our matches, though. Here we go again. Tonight we have 5 best of 3s, and we have wrapped up 3 of them already. Thankfully, we did get an ace match. Out of all matches, it was ShoWTimE and BabyMarine. For now, though, let's catch up on the matches themselves. We had a crazy short series between Raynor and Trigger. Very impressive one at that, might I add. As Trigger did take down Raynor 2-0 at the beginning of the group. We then had Skillus took down BabyMarine 2-0, and we had ShoWTimE and BabyMarine going toe-to-toe and going all the way to the ace match with a much more chaotic back and forth going in ShoWTimE's favor. GG, well played. With that, we have 2 matches left here tonight. We have Raynor versus BabyMarine. We have a battle of the brothers, papi. Oh yeah, los hermanos, los hermanitos, papi. They're going to be facing off up next in a ZVT, and then we will end the broadcast with ShoWTimE versus Trigger in a PvP. We will get there. Just catching up. Thought this guy was Italian, not German. Who? ShoWTimE is German, if you were unfamiliar. BabyMarine is Italian. Maybe I said the wrong name. But there we go. So from here, we're going to be cutting to a short break. And when we come back, we will have our next series. Again, it's going to be Raynor versus BabyMarine in that next matchup. Again, as I mentioned before, I don't think we've covered them play each other before. I'm sure they have at some point, but again, Raynor rarely plays in online tournaments. Meanwhile, BabyMarine does. Like, they typically run in different circles, and they run in different tournament circuits at times as well. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. It's gonna be an interesting one. But now, though, we'll be cutting to a short break. When we come back, we'll have our next series. We'll have the remainder of the broadcast. See you soon after the break. Oh.